Welcome to Space City Home Network's presentation of Houston Astros baseball. Your front row seat to the Astros and Rockets.
It's a new series as the Astros just wrapped up a weekend against the Rangers where they swept their in-state rivals and increased their lead in the American League West to 2.5 games. They came into the weekend trailing the Rangers by a half game, now in front in first place in the division with the Mariners 3 games back as we start a new series tonight with a new player in town. There he is, Dalton Varsho, the center fielder batting cleanup, moving from one clubhouse to the other as the trade deadline moves Spencer Arrighetti to Toronto, and Dalton Varsho will start tonight for the Houston Astros. All roads of the AL West lead through Houston as the Astros are currently in first place in the division. As we welcome you into Daikin Park, I'm Todd Callis alongside Jeff Blum. And Blummer, normally trade deadline day doesn't disappoint, and today it definitely did not.
No, it didn't. We expected some big things to happen. Today was a day, a lot of action all the way to the deadline, but a lot of teams making some great moves. The Astros just making that one.
Astros looking for a left-handed hitting outfielder, and they found one in the opposing clubhouse. Let's get to know Dalton Varsho, presented by Gallery Furniture.
Yeah, we've seen him from facing the Houston Astros over the years. And like TK said, I think Dana Brown was going out there looking for a quality veteran at bat. And you're going to get that from Dalton Varsho. He can dazzle you, shock you with some power, might be a little more friendly to him working here at Daikin Park. But he also wanted somebody who's going to go out and play you some defense. The Astros trying everybody out there in center field. Now they have a proven Gold Glove defender out there in center field. He will go get it. He will sacrifice his body. Got a decent arm, but overall the numbers in 99 games this season, not overwhelming, but again, it's about the quality of at bat that he's able to bring and maybe a change of scenery, and getting in a lineup like this for the Astros where the expectations aren't maybe as high as they were in Toronto. He proves to be a better player.
Playing his 100th game of this season, a lot of doubles. He's one shy of 20. As you can see him warming up in the outfield, wearing a different uniform than he was expecting when he came to the ballpark tonight. He'll be playing against his former teammates as Spencer Arrighetti goes over to Toronto in the deal. We'll have Dana Brown join us in the bottom of the second inning on tonight's broadcast. When we come back, Julian Morales will talk about the Twins at the top of the lineup. Jeremy Pena and Yordan Alvarez killing it.
Welcome back to Daikin Park for the series opener between the Blue Jays and the Astros. The Astros rolling. They've won their last 4 series, and it's been different guys on any given night for this club. That's why they've been playing so well for so long. But the top 2 in this lineup have really done some serious damage in the last 12 games. Let's get to our league leaders presented by Houston Methodist, talking about Jeremy Pena, the reigning player of the week, and then the guy who hits behind him, that's the player of the month for the month of July, Yordan Alvarez. This duo has had quite the last 2 weeks, combining for 41 hits, 19 of those for extra bases. How about 25 RBI? And Pena's just on an absolute tear right now, too. 14-game hit streak, tied for the longest in his career. So since the break, these two are just going off, even for these two. And he gives so much credit to Yordan in his season that it goes both ways. They're just complimenting each other so much. Pena said several times, Yordan getting close to getting a call to an even better league than Major League Baseball, basically saying this guy is on his own level. He had 360 this month, and doesn't count the All-Star game as well. We're going to go to break, but we have first pitch coming up. Christian Javier on the mound here at home. Stay with us.
Across Texas, people.
Welcome back to Daikin Park. Dalton Varsho greeting the umpires out there. At second base, Mike Malinsky and Gabe Morales, along with Doug Eddings, the crew chief, as he's now on a new team playing center field. His first game as an Astro. Let's start with our Astro starting defense presented by Xfinity. Behind the plate tonight, alongside Christian Javier, Yainer Diaz is going to be punching in PitchCom. Isaac Paredes and Jeremy Pena after his DH day on the left side. Then the outfield, Taylor Trammell, Cam Smith, and the new guy, Dalton Varsho, former Gold Glover 2 years ago, patrolling center field for the Astros. The player to watch is presented by Jack in the Box and Blummer. We're going to watch Christian Javier after a brilliant relief appearance in Anaheim.
Yeah, you hope that it's eerily similar to a moment that Hunter Brown had in his career when he came out of the bullpen in Detroit, pitched 5 shutty, and kind of turned his season around. That's kind of the situation we're hoping for Christian Javier, because that last time out on Monday, going 5 innings in relief, only giving up 3 hits, 0 runs, and 7 strikeouts. He looked very vintage in that outing. Now Joe Espada giving him an opportunity, getting back into that rotation. Hopefully he can replicate what he was doing for the El Reptil.
Javier making start number 5 on the year and also facing the Blue Jays for a 5th time this season in his career.
And here's how the Toronto Blue Jays are going to line it up. George Springer, since the All-Star break, the hottest hitter in that lineup, hitting .333. Nathan Lukes at the top, Vlad Guerrero Jr. Okamoto, I'm kind of curious to see how the Astros handle him. He had a very good series up north of the border against the Astros.
So we're ready to go on a Monday. The Toronto Blue Jays making a number of moves. The Astros making 1 trade. The Astros will look to Dalton Varsho to patrol center field on a regular basis now. And there is Spencer Arrighetti, who earlier today was loosening up in the Astros bullpen. And there he is wearing Blue Jays gear for the first time in his life, a local kid who only knows the Houston Astros organization. So we wish Spencer the best. One of the good guys on the team. We're going to miss him.
No, 100%. We will miss Spencer greatly. Out of Cinco Ranch High School, obviously, locally, getting the chance to play for the Houston Astros, but also for us, selfishly, you hate to lose guys that you really enjoyed being around.
Of course, they're going to test Dalton Varsho on the first play he makes in center field as an Astro, and the fans give him a big hand. This is earlier today. There was Spencer earlier today wearing Astros gear.
It's a tough situation, and it's crazy to think that he has to go from clubhouse to clubhouse. But at the same time, you can kind of see the look on the face of Spencer Arrighetti and just see the stunned look on his face as he had to walk out of the Astros bullpen and across the hall. But yeah, wish him nothing but the best.
Yeah, we're going to miss him a lot. Great guy. Always loved talking the game. Enjoyed playing golf on some off-season time as well. Here's Vladdy Guerrero Jr. Pats with 1 out and nobody on. So Spencer found out while he was warming up in the Astros pen. Dalton Varsho found out about the trade as he was wrapping up his hitting in the visiting cage. And then he was almost done his routine, and then he ended up hitting in the home cage right after that. So he hit in the visiting cage to start today and finished off by getting warm in his very new home Astros batting cage.
Well, he got coached up by 2 different organizations in one day. Should be ready to go.
It has been, as he said, a whirlwind today, as you can imagine.
It's strange just to get traded from team to team. It's got to be another level going from clubhouse to clubhouse in the same stadium. That's wild.
It's kind of wild that 2 of the 26 guys on the Astros roster know what that feels like. How about Christian Javier? He said, hey, let's not forget about me right now. I know you guys want to talk about Varsho, but he's off to a great start tonight.
Well, some good fastballs here. That one had some late life through the zone, speeding it past Vlad Guerrero Jr. That's what you like to see, and that's very similar to what we saw in that outing against the Angels, was that late hop on that fastball.
Kazuma Okamoto bats with 2 outs and nobody on. Nathan Lucas a fly out. Vlad Guerrero a strikeout.
The Statcast 3D, powered by Google Cloud, is going to show you that four-seam fastball in that last outing. He does a very good job when he is elevating that fastball middle up That's where he gets some of that late life. He's got a high spin rate on that fastball, averages right around 93 to 95 miles an hour. But that late spin gives the illusion that it's riding through the zone. So you'll see some swings up underneath that fastball for some swing and miss like we saw from Vlad Guerrero Jr.
Gets ahead of Okamoto's 0-2. That ball hit hard over the head of Jeremy Pena, so his success against Astros pitching continues. On an 0-2 pitch, he lines a single to left.
Yeah, Okamoto's had some great at-bats against the Astros. He's proven that he likes to hit the fastball. This one not at that upper region, kind of about belt high, you can see, and Okamoto puts a very good swing on it on a Mattress Firm Supermo.
Too good of a pitch at 0-2.
It's another good point.
Okamoto took care of that for the first base runner of the night. George Springer, as always, gets a good hand whenever he comes back to Daikin Park as he digs in there. Springer taking a pitch up for a ball, 1-0.
I bet a lot of fans here in Houston thought this was going to be the Blue Jay that the Astros picked up at the deadline. A lot of conversation around George, but it ended up being Varsho.
George is mostly DH this season. Did get a second start in the outfield yesterday in their series finale against St. Louis.
I think there were two things going against George. That he doesn't play much outfield and he's not a left-handed hitter.
Yeah, all the other departments he checks the box because he would have been a great vibe guy and he knows.
Oh, I was just going to say the check mark in the vibe category would have been huge.
George, since the All-Star break, a 976 OPS as he's got a 2-1 count here against Christian Javier. Misses that fastball, and Javi getting some swing and miss on the fastball early. Two-out hit by Kazuma Okamoto. Now Springer with a 2-2 count. That's down as 3-2. Blue Jays coming into tonight with a losing record. That's why they made the deals that they weren't anticipating as defending American League champions. 52-60 coming in. Runner goes, swing and a miss. That is a strikeout for Christian Javier. He ends with 2 strikeouts in the first inning and 1 man left on base. It'll be Jeremy Pena, Yordan Alvarez, the dynamic duo at the top, and Isaac Paredes 2 up in the bottom half.
The Astros starting lineup is presented by Whataburger. There's that change. Dalton Varsho not just moving into center field, moving into that four spot behind Isaac Paredes. Yeah, he's carrying a .243 batting average. How about his strikeout percentage is what the Astros like. It's sub 20% on the year. And he's right around 8% walk percentage moving into the middle part of that lineup for the Astros.
They will face Shane Bieber, who made his 2026 debut coming off the IL against the Astros. That lasted 3 2/3 innings. The Astros put up 9 hits and 4 runs against them that day with 3 home runs. He's also coming off a start in his last outing against Washington, where he did not get out of the first inning and walked 6, including walking in 3 with the bases loaded. So he is going to try and bounce back from that performance as he delivers one to Jeremy Pena, who fouls one towards the Toronto dugout.
That might be one of the wildest lines I've ever seen. 2/3 of an inning, 1 walk.
1 hit.
I mean, 1 hit, 6 walks. Good grief.
42 pitches, 15 strikes. Next one misses up to Pena. It's 1-1.
I just learned that the last time that happened was 2006. Daniel Cabrera.
Wow.
How about it?
On the ground, a couple of hops. Charging it is Andres Jimenez, and he'll make the throw for the first out.
The Power Play is presented by HEB, and it's the Power Guy. Yordan Alvarez. Yes, we are done with the Texas Rangers, but for one last moment, we are going to look at the numbers that Yordan put up against the Texas Rangers in 13 games this season. 21 hits, 8 of them were home runs, and he drove in 16. Single-handedly taking that silver boot and keeping it right where it belongs.
Challenge early here from Alejandro Kirk. Home plate umpire is Emil Jimenez. Everybody seems to want to get a strike on Yordan Alvarez, and they're going to get this one.
This was a strike. Toronto has 2 more remaining.
I think Yordan took offense to this.
That one's definitely a strike. It's 0-2. In addition to everything else that Yordan does well, he is leading the league in 2-strike OPS by about 100 points over the next closest competitor.
It's crazy what he's doing this year.
On the ground, and even on an 0-2 pitch, he's able to serve one into right field past the second baseman, Ernie Clement. Yordan with another base hit coming off a 4-for-5 game yesterday. How about Yordan against the Rangers? You have to go back to Ken Griffey Jr., the Hall of Famer, in '94.
You can see Griffey putting up those numbers in 10 games, taking Yordan 13. But what a comp right there to be compared to Ken Griffey Jr. against the Texas Rangers. Those are huge numbers.
Best season numbers for any player ever in one season against the Rangers, Griffey Jr. and Yordan Alvarez. Now here's Isaac Paredes. Paredes skies one. Okamoto, the third baseman, in foul territory, will put it away for the second out. Now here he is. This has to be very unusual for Dalton Varsho as he steps into the batter's box against his team that he flew to Houston with, and facing Shane Bieber, who he may have headed over to the ballpark with as part of the entourage on the bus to the stadium. Acquired at around 3 o'clock here Central Time, as he was working out, trying to get ready to play for the Blue Jays today. As he takes a pitch for a strike at the top of the zone, it's 0-1.
And if anybody's got the book on Dalton Varsho, it's the team he's been playing for a couple of years now.
Second time in Varsho's career he's been traded. The other time came in the offseason. Former Diamondback and teammate of Christian Walker, traded after 3 years with Arizona to Toronto, now in his 4th year with the Blue Jays. Down in the count 0-2 in his first Astros at bat. Varsho hitting cleanup today. He hit everywhere except for leadoff and ninth in the Blue Jays lineup. The most he hit was 6. Also hit in the 5th spot quite a bit, in the 2nd spot, but not as many games in that cleanup spot. But the Astros put him right in the cleanup spot in his first game. Up and in, 2-2. Varsho becomes the second current Houston Astro who went to University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee. There's only 3 that ever played in the major leagues. The Astros have 2 of them. A.J. Blueball, Dalton Varsho. On the ground, past Guerrero, and stopped by Clement, but not in time to throw out Varsho, who has a hit against his former team in his first at bat.
Welcome to the ball club, Dalton Varsho. Varsho pulled this one past Vladdy. It's a good look at it on tonight's aerial coverage of the Wire Cam, brought to you by our partners at Defy. Valiant effort by Ernie Clement. So hustling beats it out.
So now 2 on with 2 outs for Christian Walker. And whatever ailed Shane Bieber in his last start has certainly been worked on in between starts, because he's thrown 11 out of 14 strikes so far.
Varsho got down the line 28.9 feet per second.
Nice. That one off the plate wide. It's 1-1. Something old school for Walker, trying to drive in Dalton Varsho, which he did quite a bit when they were Diamondback teammates. That one wide. It's 2-1.
Could be a good time to hit right here.
Walker carrying a 6-game hitting streak into this game. Taps a foul to even up the count at 2 apiece.
Good cutter down and away, just staying off the barrel from Christian.
Astros with a couple of hits here in the first inning. Yordan Alvarez and Dalton Varsho. 2 lefties with base hits so far against Bieber. And Walker down on strikes as he misses the slider to end the inning. 2 hits, 2 left on. We're scoreless after 1.
No score just yet here at Daikin Park. We move to the top of the second. I have your dugout report. It's presented by Jack in the Box. It can be a tense day, especially for those who have been through it. Trade deadline day. And for the Astros, things really started to happen around the time the Astros got on the field. Some rumors hit social media. So that's when things got really tense for the clubhouse. These guys hearing what was going on, seeing what was going on, and then once it was official, Joe Espada finally spoke to the bittersweetness that is the trade deadline. The excitement of adding a player like Varsho to the club, but then having the tough conversation that he did with Spencer Arrighetti there. Toronto's going to go up 1-0. Home run there off Christian Javier. But just, you know, the guys that know this feeling, TK, Christian Vasquez, you talked about him earlier being one of those guys who said, I have no bad feelings about my situation and changing clubhouse. Somebody that did it before, he said, I won a World Series and got to celebrate with champagne. So joining a first-place team, something that Varsho is certainly happy about. We'll learn more about him and how he's feeling, I'm sure, over the next few days.
Alejandro Kirk hitting the first pitch of the second inning into the Crawford boxes. And he gives the Blue Jays a 1-0 lead. Here's a guy the Astros acquired at last year's trade deadline, Jesus Sanchez, who didn't like that first call of a strike by Emil Jimenez, and he's going to challenge. He's going to win it.
Toronto has 2 more.
Blue Jays have 2 successful challenges so far. Sanchez's time with the Astros after moving over at the trade deadline last year did not go quite the way the Astros were hoping. This ball sent to center, and a guy they acquired at the 26 trade deadline puts it away against the guy they acquired at the 25 trade deadline for out number 1. Now Ernie Clement will bat. Shows last year getting Sanchez on July 31st, which was the deadline for Ryan Gusto, Esmil Valencia, and Chase Jaworski. Another challenge of Emil Jimenez. This is going to be Yainer Diaz challenging the ball call. He thinks this was a strike, and he's right.
Houston has 2 more remaining.
It was a strike.
They're picking on Emil Jimenez early, aren't they?
Yeah, 3 overturns already. We're only in the 2nd inning. This ball into right. Shallow. Cam Smith coming on, and he'll make the running catch for out number 2. Time to take a look at today's Chevy Stroh poll. It's about how you feel about the team moving forward. Once the trade deadline has passed, as it has today, and the Astros leading the AL West, what are your expectations? A, the Astros are going to win the division. B, they'll not only get to the playoffs, they'll win a playoff series. C, they'll play in the World Series. Or D, you're just enjoying Jordan's Triple Crown chase. Go to @SpaceCityHN, use the hashtag Stroh poll. I'll have results for you later on in the broadcast. Andres Jimenez bats with an 0-1 count. Now it's 0-2. Reminder that Dana Brown, general manager of the Astros, will join us in the booth next half inning, as he has had a very busy few days, you might imagine, leading up to today's trade deadline. Home run Javier gave up to start the inning, the 4th home run of the season allowed by Christian, 2 in the first start of the year, and only 1 since then. I think a second opportunity to try and regain a spot in that rotation. He has not pitched as a part of the rotation on a regular basis since the beginning of the year, when he made 3 straight starts late March and then April 3rd and April 8th before going on the IL. Did work a game in Arlington against the Rangers right before the All-Star break and lasted 3 innings in that outing. Holds up on a pitch down. The count's 2-2. Jays as a team do a good job of staying in counts, not striking out very much, putting the ball in play. This one in play to left. Taylor Trammell is there, and he'll put it away for the final out. Leadoff home run by Alejandro Kirk, and the Jays lead 1-0.
Astros win it up.
We head to the bottom of the 2nd. Blue Jays lead 1-0 on an Alejandro Kirk home run. We have the general manager with us, Dana Brown. Dana has done such a great job lately of kind of following your health metrics. You really pay a lot of attention to it. How's your blood pressure? How have you been sleeping the last few days?
Yeah, not sleeping much, but blood pressure's still good. Nice glass of wine to help.
There you go.
Always does. Did it spike at any moment, or were there multiple moments where it spiked a little bit?
Yeah, it spiked a little bit today. You know, you get a little frustrated when things aren't moving as quickly as you would like.
How would you assess what you did and what you tried to accomplish? Getting Dalton Varsho, where you're also looking for a pitcher.
Yeah, we were trying to just improve our odds and, you know, making the playoffs and make this team better. And so, you know, getting Varsho, everyday center fielder, you like that.
Was he high on your list when you went into this whole process?
Yeah, pretty high on our list because we were looking for a left-hand bat and a center fielder, and so we kind of checked both of those boxes. And, you know, we feel like we got a guy that's a lifer in baseball. You know, his dad was a good player. He grew up in the clubhouse. He's a competitor. You know, he fits right in. He played in the World Series last year, fit right in on this team.
He doesn't strike out a lot. He takes his walks. What was the idea of putting him in the middle part of that lineup?
Yeah, just the contact. You know, you saw just now, and he gets the base hit right there. 2 strikes. He's fighting to put it in play. We can use that in the middle of our lineup a little bit, particularly when we have men in scoring position.
What was it like for you going through maybe the last 24, 48 hours, knowing that you do have pieces that would entice a trade, but deciding who to trade for what? I mean, that's got to be walking a very fine line in this organization, because you've done good in the drafts here recently.
Yeah, it's a delicate balance. You know, you don't want to mortgage the future, but you want to improve the major league team in the current season. And so you have to balance that act out all the time. And, you know, there's people who paid some high price tags today. And, you know, some of that we're not willing to do, you know. We're trying to improve this team. We felt like we moved the needle with Varsho, but we didn't want to get into losing like our top of the farm system prospects and some of our guys in the lower parts that are really good, like the 2 young hitters we got.
Without speaking of a specific trade, were you surprised a little bit at some of the prospect capital that went back in some deals today?
Yeah, you know, I'm always surprised with that. But, you know, look, teams are trying to get better, and some teams will give up a little bit more than other teams. And, you know, you try not to give up your, you know, your blue chips. You know, you want to keep those guys. And so I understand that, you know, there was a high asking price for a lot of the good players that were out there. And these players, you know, they were available. They were still on the board. We were excited. And then the price tag, you know, it seems to just be so high. And, you know, we don't want to mortgage the future. We think, you know, the one thing we want to do is keep the window open here all the time, like Jim Crane talks about. And you can't do that if you start mortgaging the future.
Absolutely. You got some good pieces down there. It looks like Tramel's going to fly out to right field. Coming out of the All-Star break, or maybe if we had this conversation over the All-Star break, it might have been a little bit different. But you come out, get swept by the Baltimore Orioles, and then the Astros go on the run that they're on now, and they absolutely pound on the Texas Rangers to take over first place in the West. How much of that impacted how you went into the trade deadline, or did it?
Yeah, it didn't really impact it. We've always felt like we were good enough, and we had a chance to win the division. The wild card was still wide open, so we were treating it. Look, we were going in this thing as buyers, so we get gut punched right after the All-Star break, and then we come back and we show some grit and get through it and start to put some wins together, which is, you know, on a good receiving end there.
Was everything amped up today to the point where are you at some point talking to 3 or 4 teams at the same time?
Yeah, it was back and forth. You know, at times it got slow, and I was like, what is everybody taking lunch at the same time? You know, then the calls would pick up, and, you know, we would get moving. But, yeah, it was going back and forth.
The Astros have a unique organization in the sense that their clubhouse is one of the most cohesive that I've seen in years that I played and broadcasted. How important was it to you to get a guy like Varsho? Do you guys do the background checks and see what kind of personality, let alone talent, you're bringing into your clubhouse?
Absolutely. Character matters. It's a big part of what we do. We want that winning type player. In Varsho's case, you know, as I said earlier, he's been around the game all of his life, grew up in the clubhouse, and just a good baseball man and a good human being.
Yiner Diaz down on the count 1-2. And to get something, you have to give something. You had a little bit of control with Spencer Arrighetti, but you needed to play at 2026 for 2026, and that seemed like the right move.
Yes, no doubt about it. You know, Spencer's done some great things in his organization. He does have that control. It's always given up, you know, the control that hurts. And, you know, with getting a center fielder, you know, you're going to have to give up something for an everyday major league center fielder.
But some of that control can contribute to the cash considerations towards Varsho's contract. So is that how you kind of leverage that a little bit? Yeah, I mean, look, I mean, you always have to give up something, and some of that control is definitely, you know, with the Varsho contract, and that happens. But, you know, we're very happy with Varsho and what we got, and, you know, it's tough to pull away from Spence.
That one's going to be a rocket past the third baseman, Okamoto. And that's going to be Cam Smith continuing his hitting streak.
Yeah, Cam Smith has been swinging the bat very well of late.
We have seen Cam really pick it up lately. Here you go.
Yeah, what adjustments have you seen from Cam that allowed him to hit the ball as hard as he has been for base hits?
Yeah, I think I really like where he's getting his hands right now. His hands are a little bit higher. He has a point in his load where he's like sinking into his lower half, and he's getting his hands back at the same time. And I think that rhythm is working for him, and it's producing.
One thing I've noticed, too, is he's pulled the ball a little bit more recently as well. Has that been emphasis on him to get the bat head out in front a little bit?
Not so much that. I just think, you know, I don't like him to get pull happy because he's really good. Like to hit that triple to right field the other day.
He's got plenty of pop.
He's got plenty of pop the other way. You don't want him to get too pull conscious because then he's going to pull off the slider and they're going to throw him more sliders. So, no, we want to make sure we keep him to all fields.
Jeremy Pena, who has been scorching since the All-Star break, 14-game hitting streak coming into tonight. Down in the count here, 0-2. As you look at this team and you look at the bigger picture, you're up by 2.5 over Texas, coming in by 3 over the Mariners. Are you kind of watching what those teams within the division are doing at the deadline as well?
No, I mean, look, you have to really get locked in on what you're doing and what your path is to get back to the postseason and to get deep into the postseason. I mean, you read about it when it comes across the wire, but you try to really stay focused on what you're doing.
The AL West is interesting in that sense, but did it surprise you that maybe the Rangers and Mariners didn't go out and do a little bit more to try and compete with the Astros?
Yeah, I mean, look, I mean, I'm not sure where they are, you know, with their budgets and different things like that, or with their prospect status. But I know for us, I felt like we had to do something. You know, I've been talking a lot about, you know, getting a left-hand bat and an outfielder, and to get a left-hand bat and an outfielder and a center fielder, I feel like you check off 3 boxes.
Jeremy Pena goes down on strikes. Dana Brown, I know this was a crazy day. We appreciate the time.
Get some sleep,
right,
man.
No problem.
Thank you. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. Dana Brown joining us here in the booth. Houston Astros baseball is presented by Rooms to Go. Get fashion, style, and quality all at low prices on every item, every day. By H-E-B. Here, everything's better. And by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places. 1-0 game in favor of the Blue Jays as we head to the 3rd inning. Thanks to Dana Brown for stopping in on what has been a crazy day. He called it insanity before he went on the broadcast with us.
He definitely did.
He said that they tried to make something happen for a starter and the pieces just didn't align. So what that means is a guy like Christian Javier has quite a runway here to make himself a part of this rotation going forward. Well, he mentioned he was in the rotation to start the season, got injured and was no longer a part of the rotation when he came back, was working out of the pen. But now with the trade of Spencer Arrighetti, this ball is lined to left. Miles Straw in the lineup tonight, probably because Dalton Varsho was traded. And the Blue Jays center fielder, former Astro, hits a double down the left.
I would imagine Miles is going to get some PT down the stretch to finish off this season as he reunites with Jose Altuve. Put a good swing on that fastball up and in to get that double. Yeah, and I didn't have a chance, and I probably already know the answer. But seeing how Ronel Blanco's responded from coming back from his injury, seeing how Hayden Wesneski's responded coming back from his injury, maybe made that decision not to pull the trigger and get rid of some young prospects for a starter. May have helped him a little bit.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think that was part of it. And I think what he was also saying was he saw a lot of prospects move today, and maybe the asking price was just simply too high based on your future capital of what you have in your minor league.
Yeah, we talk about market value all the time, and you start to trade some of these guys, and you start to see how it's starting to unfold and what's going across in some of these trades. And you kind of look at your own evaluation, your own organization, and you start to say, well, that's this guy, and this guy, and we just don't feel comfortable trading them because there were some big prospect names being thrown around, even though they're unproven.
Astros do have a lot of studs at the lower minor leagues.
Yes.
And there was a lot of fear from Astros fans that one or more of those players would be moved, and none of them were moved today.
You can throw me into that mix. I was kind of, you know, over the last 2-3 years, I've become big fans of some of these young players that the Astros have drafted. And those are Dana Brown drafts, so he's got some pride in keeping those guys around.
Astros bring the infield in here against Vlad Guerrero Jr. Double by Miles Straw. Ground ball to the right side by Nathan Lucas, advancing the runner to third. And now Vladdy batting with a runner on third and less than 2 outs. Guerrero Jr. struck out his first time up against Javier. He's 1 for 9 in his career with 3 strikeouts against Christian. Pena knows, excuse me, it's time for Outfield Arms.
Outfield Arms presented by Lone Star College. There you go. Cam Smith, red light out there and right. Varsho, we're going to put yellow on him. That arm strength probably not what it used to be, but he still moves well. And he'll attack that baseball to try to put his best throw on it. And Trammell moving into left field has always been that yield sign, but he's playing a little bit more shallow and left.
Little pop-up. Can Walker or Altuve get there? It is going to be Walker over the shoulder. Strauss going to try to score. The throw's a good one. Wow. A play by Christian Walker.
Red light on Christian Walker.
We forgot to put him on the throwing arm red light list.
That was a BB to home on one hop. First of all, a great play going and catching it over his shoulder, and then the awareness to turn, spin, and throw an absolute strike to Yainer Diaz, and the tag out at home. That's an easy double play. Go Glover at first.
The Shiner spotlight falls on the Astros offense during the homestand. They have been ranking in 6 home games, 997 OPS. They are 6-0 during that stretch. They swept the Marlins. They swept the Rangers. They're hitting .328 as a team and scoring almost 7 runs a game. A large chunk of that production has come from the top of the lineup with JP3 and Yordan Alvarez hitting back-to-back and doing huge things, as Julia told you pregame. Yordan skies one on the first pitch he sees from Shane Bieber in the 3rd inning. Jesus Sanchez in left field will circle under and make the catch for the first out. Yordan with that single his first time up extended his on-base streak to 19 games. And oh, by the way, lost in all the shuffle of the trade deadline. Yordan won Player of the Month.
Yeah, oh, by the way, again.
Congratulations, Yordan. His 2nd Player of the Month award this year after winning in March, April as well. Here's Isaac Paredes, who popped up his first time up. Shane Bieber missing wide. It's 1-0. Next hit for Paredes will be number 100 on the season. As right now, Yordan Alvarez, the only one on the Astros roster with 100 hits or more. He's got 133. Paredes the next closest at 99. Got in on him on a 2-0 pitch as he fouls it away. It's 2-1. Astros adding Dalton Varsho to their roster today. Seattle added Taylor Ward from the Baltimore Orioles. And the Rangers really didn't do much. They had made a move for Chase Silseth last week and Logan O'Hoppe, who's currently in the minor leagues. Just some minor stuff today from the Rangers. There's a strike. It's 2-2. The team that was the busiest in the AL West was the Angels. They unloaded a bunch of players.
And to be honest, I'm a little surprised Reed Detmers is still there. For sure there would have been somebody out there trying to hunt that left-hand arm.
Joe Adell, Jose Soriano,
Zephyr-John out of their bullpen.
Ryan Zephyr-John, and earlier Chase Silseth and Logan O'Hoppe all moved from the Angels. So Mazalek going to the Angels and running the show and making a lot of moves. Paredes is going to get challenged. Alejandro Kirk feels like that 3-1 pitch had the top of the plate. He thinks it's a full count, and instead it's a walk.
That is correct. Toronto has 1 more remaining.
That'll be a walk issued to Isaac Paredes. First walk allowed by Bieber tonight. Well, that was a 3-2 pitch that they challenged. So it was either going to be a walk or a strikeout, and the Blue Jays lose one of their challenges. Now here's Dalton Varsho. Varsho fouls off the cutter. It's 0-1.
You know, not to pile on more oddity of the day being traded for Varsho and Arrighetti going from clubhouse to clubhouse here in Houston. Arrighetti probably has a home here. He will go home to.
He will.
Varsho get on the Blue Jay bus and go back to the team hotel?
I'm going to guess his stuff's at the hotel.
Right? That's what I mean.
Yeah.
It's like, boys, one more trip.
That's a good question.
You know, is he going to Uber? Is he going to ask Steve Sparks for a ride?
I imagine that Juan Huitron will have
He's going to have a hotel.
A new hotel for him
but
tonight.
He's going to have to go back to the team hotel he showed up in.
I'm guessing he might hang out with his old crew a little bit tonight, just as for old time's sake. Because he said he and George had a conversation with Kevin Gausman on the flight down to Houston when Gausman was traded. And obviously they were a little bit emotional about losing another buddy in that trade deadline. So I'm imagining they might gather together for one last time tonight. Better tonight than tomorrow, because tomorrow's leading into a day game.
Yeah. I mean, they are younger than us, but
way younger. I remember his dad playing.
Oh, I think I may have played against his dad.
Gary Varsho.
Yeah. Pittsburgh Pirates.
Yep. Among others, I think the Cubs. And then Gary was a coach and a player for 1 year with the Phillies. 95, he was a player, and then he was a coach from 02 to 06, bench coach. And that's where Dalton Varsho gets his name from, because Gary became great friends with Darren Dalton. So Dalton Varsho strikes out here for the second out, and that is the fourth strikeout for Bieber. Now Christian Walker will bat, coming off that fine defensive play to end the top half of the inning.
That was a really good defensive play. Playing in, having to catch that fly ball over your shoulder and then make a throw home. That was nice.
That ball hit on the line in the center field. That'll be down for a hit. Going first to third, Isaac Paredes. And Christian Walker with a 7-game hitting streak going. Puts runners on the corners with 2 outs.
That was nicely done on a slider. See if it was off the outside edge of our UTMD Anderson strike zone. It just caught that edge. But that's a beautiful swing, letting that slider travel and driving it that way. Beautiful swing from Christian Walker.
Jose Altuve now with an opportunity. 2 outs and 2 on. Altuve had a single against Bieber his first time up. Jose has really enjoyed his head-to-head matchups with Shane. He is 7 for 13 now in his career. Takes a first pitch just at the bottom of the zone for a strike. It's 0-1. Altuve asked Emil Jimenez if that pitch was at the bottom of his zone. Did not challenge and is down to the count.
Could have.
That's off the plate. It's 1-1. Jose has an opportunity to match Bobby Abreu on the all-time hit list with his next hit. Fellow Venezuelan. That's wide. It's 2-1. Jose went 2 for 5 yesterday. Now a 2-1 count after a base hit his first time up today. Into center, Miles Straw moving into right center will make the play for the final out of the inning. Astros strand 2 for the second consecutive inning and trail 1-0 after 3.
Across Texas.
All-Star Car Show is back by popular demand. Join us November 7th and 8th for a 2-day high-impact takeover of Daikin Park. See some of the rarest cars in the world. Enjoy family-friendly attractions and more. Visit astros.com/carshow for tickets. TK?
Kazuma Okamoto continues to rake the Astros. He's 2 for 2 tonight with a single here to lead off the 4th. Hit an 0-2 pitch his first time up, and that was a first pitch ambush. We've talked about this trade mostly from the Dalton Varsho angle of things, but obviously on the Spencer Arrighetti side, Julia, how was it for him and the clubhouse dealing with that trade?
Yeah, I talked earlier how it was just kind of a crazy day and the timing of it because the Astros were on the field. So Spencer was getting his work in, as you mentioned earlier. He was in the bullpen when his teammates were seeing this on social media. So they started to pop up. They wanted to come find him. They wanted to know if he knew yet, things like that. So hard there in the beginning. Of course, he was told. And then I heard from a couple of guys in here right before the game. I wondered if they were able to finally get that moment with him or give them the hug that they wanted to give. And a lot of them said, yeah, but it was just so quick. It happened so fast. He whisked away to the other side of the ballpark in the visiting clubhouse. So they're hoping to be able to catch up with him once he catches his breath, of course, giving him some time. These guys are tight in there, and you know, the groups that they have and the time that they spend on the road, it's all a shock. At the same time, they want to be excited, but there's a lot of different feelings.
Yeah, I can imagine. And again, our best to Spencer, his wife and kids, as this ball sent off the mound for a base hit. George Springer singles off Christian Javier. And the Blue Jays have the first 2 runners on here in the 4th inning. Diaz out to have a chat with Javi, who's allowed a leadoff base runner in the last 3 innings and at least 1 base runner in all 4 innings. Not as much traffic as the Astros have had offensively. They have left 6 men on in the first 3 against Shane Bieber. Now a word from Reliant.
Make your move with Reliant. That's power your way.
No, the whole trade scenario is just jarring in itself. It's one thing to have those off-season trades where you've got time to kind of think about it, pack your stuff up, say your goodbyes, make the phone calls, and visit with people. You know, even in spring training, you still have the opportunity to slow things down a little bit. But during the regular season at the trade deadline, you don't have that opportunity, and it can kind of surprise you a little bit. It surprised me that Spencer left. I didn't anticipate him being in those trade talks. All the rumors that you hear, you kind of take them with a grain of salt, but until it actually happens, it can surprise you.
Yeah, I mean, there were only a few names that you heard bandied about, but his name really never came up in any trade speculation until it actually happened. First 2 missing to Alejandro Kirk. It's 2-0.
And you're playing for a hometown team. Houston's been your home for so long. I mean, that's tough.
Didn't miss by much. Kirk taking it for a 3-0 count. Kirk makes a lot of contact, doesn't walk a whole lot, doesn't strike out a whole lot.
I could just describe the entire offense like you did. The Toronto Blue Jays, their contact rates are at the top, but their strikeout and walk rates are pretty low.
Puts the 3-0 pitch in play and pops it up. Christian Walker in from first base. Infield fly rules invoked. That'll be the first out of the inning. So Kirk going after a 3-0 pitch. And the Astros get the first out.
A little tip of the cap from Christian Javier saying thank you, Mr. Kirk.
Now Jesus Sanchez. Sanchez part of a trade deadline deal last year and then part of an off-season deal going from Houston to Toronto for Joey Loperfido. Sanchez taking a strike, 0-1. Pretty good changeup getting him ahead of the count 0-2.
There's been some good changeups in this game from Christian. This is a good one right here, left on left. And that good arm action and just chokes that thing down a little bit, takes that velocity off of it and gets that hitter way out in front.
Fights this off. An 0-2 pitch is going to fall in for a hit. Trammell is going to try to throw the runner out at home. The throw is up the line and past Diaz. And into second goes Sanchez. Into third goes Springer. Okamoto scores the second run of the game.
0-2 count. He threw a fastball on the plate. It was up and in. Did a good job of jamming Sanchez, but he's able to just to force this one to the opposite field where nobody could make that play. Trammell came up throwing, just pulled that throw past Yiner.
Single for Sanchez and a advancement on the error by Trammell. Here's Ernie Clement with the infield in, second and third and one out, and he takes a half swing and fouls it away. That ball hit well to left. Trammell back on it. Plenty deep enough to score the run. Trammell makes a jumping catch against the wall. Springer scores on the line drive sacrifice fly by Ernie Clement. Now the Blue Jays lead 3-0. Clement drives in his 36th run of the season. Now Andres Jimenez the batter. First pitch sweeper for a called strike, 0-1. Christian's 4 previous starts against the Blue Jays in his career. He's been 2-2 with a 4.22. Coming into today, in his 4 previous starts in 2026, he had allowed same number of runs as innings pitched or more in all 4 starts. He's trying to stop that trend tonight. He's given up 3 through 4 as Cam Smith makes that play on Andres Jimenez to end the inning. 2-run score though on 3 hits, and the Blue Jays lead 3-0.
Really does look.
Get out and play is driven by Toyota, and Shane Bieber back in Toronto gave up a home run to Yiner Diaz. Next up was Cam Smith, and he took him a little bit further into left center field. And then Taylor Trammell absolutely obliterated one into the upper tank. The Astros going back to back to back off Shane Bieber. A unique opportunity to square one up and put it into the upper tank at the Rogers Center for Taylor Trammell.
Not many hit up there.
Oh, that was unbelievable.
Taylor's been on a good run here for the last week or so, hitting in 6 of the last 7 games at a 1,093 OPS clip. That's why he's back in the lineup tonight, playing left field. Flied out to right field his first time up. Skies this one to center, pretty well hit. Miles Straw back, still going back. He's near the wall. He'll leap up and take one away from Taylor Trammell. Miles Straw went up about 3/4 the way on the wall and made a great catch for out number 1 here in the 4th. Trammell circling the bases just in case they overturn that.
He thought it was out. That ball was clobbered. 419 feet. Miles Straw has experience here, leaps up and takes away the extra base hit. Pretty incredible play from Miles Straw. And 110.4 off the bat, 419 feet. You get nothing to show for it.
419?
Yeah. That's incredible.
Home run in a lot of ballparks, I guess, but not here. Now Yiner delivers a base hit. Yiner on base here with 1 out in the 4th. Astros have had a lot of base runners.
StatCast 3D, powered by Google Cloud, shows you 7 hits for Cam Smith. This includes this evening. Base hit in that first at bat, but he's doing a good job covering the entire plate, spraying that baseball all over the place, hitting .467 in the last 4 games. Cam Smith turning things around, getting it done here at home, which is nice to see too.
Yeah, really nice to see. Cam had been struggling at Dyken Park coming into this homestand. Sends this one in the air to right. Nathan Lucas coming in to make the catch for out number 2. The Astros have had 6 hits and a walk so far tonight against Shane Bieber. But they have stranded 6 men through 3, and now Jeremy Pena bats with 2 outs and a runner on first. Kind of has the early feel of yesterday's game.
So we've seen this act already, haven't we? They're 0 for 3 with runners in scoring position today, but leaving 6 on through the first 3 innings. Pretty impressive.
That's a broken bat, and it'll go towards Guerrero. He can't make the play initially, and he finally gets his hand on the bag before Pena's foot. A crazy looking play, and Guerrero finally put his bare hand on the bag to beat Pena and end the inning.
That ball was moving all over the place, not hit hard at all. Snow coned and tapped him out.
On Tap is presented by Lawnmower Blonde. Peter Lambert with another good day on the mound, and his ERA June 1st 2.56, pretty good. He came out firing yesterday, collected 8 strikeouts very quick. He was happy he was able to get quick outs early, and then his offense doing the rest later in the game, but said this team's been unbelievable over the past couple of weeks. Fun to watch the offense work and some defense behind him. He did want to give Taylor Trammell some love for that great catch in center field. But he said contributors all over this clubhouse, including him.
Man, where would they be without Peter Lambert?
That's a frightening thought. He has been awesome in that rotation.
Keeps taking the ball. He's really the only guy in that rotation that did not have a true all-star break. I think he worked on 6 days rest going into and coming out of the all-star break, and then he's worked on 4 days rest 5 times this year, including the start yesterday. Gave Christian Javier an extra day to get ready for his start after pitching in Anaheim. And Javi so far has been pitch efficient with 52 pitches in 4 innings, but he's given up 3 runs on 6 hits through 4 so far. A couple of strikeouts in the first inning, his only 2 strikeouts of the game, as Miles Straw leads off. Miles doubled and was thrown out by Christian Walker on a nice play to end the 3rd inning as he tried to score on a shallow fly to right. Miles playing in his 100th game of the season. Here's his number of at-bats will increase now with Dalton Varsho being traded to the Astros.
Yeah, a lot of fans in Toronto used to seeing Dalton Varsho making those leaping plays at the wall. Now they're going to have to get used to Miles Straw doing it.
Inside out swing by Miles, and he's 2 for 2 as he lifts one over the head of Christian Walker for a leadoff base hit. 4 consecutive innings for the Blue Jays with a leadoff runner on. Los Astros is back on SCHN. Catch your Houston Astros in Spanish for this week's game against the Toronto Blue Jays. All 3 games against the Jays only on SCHN2 and streaming on SCHN. Enrique Vasquez and Gene Flores calling the game tonight. Pitch is down to Nathan Lucas for a ball. It's 1-0.
That's a true international broadcast with the Blue Jays in town.
Yes.
How about it?
Dalton Varsho heading into town yesterday after their series against the Cardinals. He was expected to go from here to make up a game against the Cubs from an earlier rainout and then on to Philly. So he will avoid those 7 games in 7 days on this road trip for the Blue Jays, as he's now going to be part of an Astros off day heading into San Diego instead. 2-0 the count to Nathan Lucas in a meeting with Yainer and Christian Javier. Now a word from Dairy Queen.
DQ does it all, from the hot to the cold, from the sweet to the bold.
I'm not sure there's anything much worse than a makeup game on the road.
One day.
Yeah, taking away that day off, adding some extra travel. Ugh. I guess if you're already on the road, it's okay.
Still, it's an off day they would have had, obviously. They had a mutual off day between themselves and the Cubs. Kind of sort of on the way to Philly, Houston to Chicago, and then cut across.
I mean, Magellan would have taken that route.
There goes the runner. The pitch is a strike. The throw is a little bit late, and Miles Straw has his 7th stolen base of the year.
Straw has good speed. You can see that big leg kick from Christian Javier, really allowing an extra couple of steps for Straw to get in there.
Javier has not faced a lot of hitters this year. 3rd time through the lineup. Faces Lucas here for a 3rd time, but only 6 plate appearances coming into this inning, with Christian facing a lineup for a 3rd time. Hitters are 2 for 4 with a couple of walks 3rd time through. Lucas is flied out and grounded out, and grounds another one to Christian Walker. This time he'll take it himself. Last time he used Javier covering. On the play, Miles Straw moves to 3rd. Once again, Lucas advances the runner to 3rd base with 1 out. Last time Vladdy Jr. could not drive in the run as he popped one into shallow right, and Christian Walker made an over-the-shoulder catch and threw out Straw, trying to score on the shallow sac fly. It would not shock you in a different season to see Vlad Guerrero Jr. amongst the leaders in runs batted in, but it has been a rough go of it this year for Vladdy. Six home runs on the year, all coming on the road, and a total of 44 RBIs. And he doesn't drive in the run again as he pops one up twice with a runner on 3rd and 1 out. Vladdy unable to get the run home. This one caught by Pena, and there's 2 away.
See that? Fabulous was holding on to Straw's jersey, making sure he wouldn't go home. Tried to do it at Christian Walker on a pop-up in the infield. Failed. This time not nearly deep enough with Jeremy Pena, but you've got a hot hitter against the Astros coming up in Okamoto.
Seems like he's raking on a lot of fastballs.
Aggressive on fastballs and cut fastballs in the zone early. But if there's a fastball in the zone, I don't think he's going to put a good swing on it. Starts him with a changeup.
Oh, he beat him on that fastball. Now it's 0-2.
There's a little extra juice on that one. Some life through the zone. Couldn't catch up to it.
First inning, he singled on an 0-2 pitch in the left fields. 4th inning, he singled on the first pitch he saw. Now he's 0-2 again. Change up missing down and away, 1-2. Okamoto hitting .229 on the year, playing his 110th game of the season. He and Ernie Clementa played the most games for the Blue Jays. Okamoto had 5 hits and 11 at-bats in that series against the Astros up in Toronto. So he's 7 for 13 on the season against Houston pitching. He's got a 2-2 count here. That is popped up and playable. Christian Walker coming down from first, and he'll put it away. 2 pop-ups to end the inning. Javier Strand's a runner on third here in the fifth. We're halfway home. Astros down 3-0. Jordan Alvarez, Isaac Paredes, and Dalton Varsho due up.
Claim only.
3-0 Blue Jays. Astros no runs on 6 hits. They have stranded 7 in the first 4 innings. Jordan Alvarez will lead things off here in the fifth and take a pitch up and in for ball 1. Jordan with a single his first time up. He's 1 for 2 and has that batting average up to .331 on the season. He is 31 points ahead of the next closest hitter in the American League. Gandhi Diaz hitting an even .300. And he's got a 3-0 count here against Bieber, who he's 5 for 9 against. There you see the margins. 4 home run lead over Ben Rice and a 9 RBI lead against the same hitter for the Yankees. The batting average is not a race right now. And that is walk number 78 for Jordan on the season, as he's a leadoff base runner here in the fifth. Grab your wands tomorrow night and join the Astros for Harry Potter night. Fans can enjoy themed magical activities and purchase a limited edition Harry Potter Quidditch Astros jersey. It's an add-on package. You can learn more about it at astros.com/Harry Potter. Here's Isaac Paredes, who drew the other walk issued by Shane Bieber. Takes a called strike here. It's 0-1. Paredes a pop-up and a walk tonight. Fastball missing in, 1-1. Bieber was amongst those that were rumored to possibly be moved at the trade deadline. The Blue Jays end up moving Dalton Varsho to the Astros, and also starter Kevin Gausman and reliever Jeff Hoffman. No one's fouled. It's 2-2.
Yeah, they did some interesting work picking up Soriano and Spencer Arrighetti, 2 starting pitchers with some control left in their careers, so maybe planning on a little bit of a bounce back in the next couple of years, providing some youth and control in that rotation.
Also picked up Jameson Tyone.
There you go.
It's going to be strike 3 as that dropped in. The slider fooled Paredes, and he's going to be out number 1. That is a 5th strikeout for Bieber.
All In All the Time is presented by Daly and Black, and there's Dalton Varsho. Talked about last season how the Blue Jays went to the World Series, 4 games against the Yankees. He carried a 1471 OPS and some big numbers against them with a couple of home runs and RBIs. That's enough right there to endear himself to the Houston fan base.
Absolutely.
Doing damage against the Yankees.
That is absolutely true. The Yankees are losing tonight. Have a new number 3 hitter in their lineup tonight. Luis Garcia Jr., acquired from the Nationals, right in the lineup and hitting 3rd. That's in for a ball, 1-1. So there you see the Toronto moves that we were mentioning. Hoffman to the Twins, Gausman to the Cubs, Varsho here. Soriano, Arrighetti, 2 of the bigger names acquired from the trade deadline. This is chopped towards second. Clement is going to flip it to short. He could have tagged Jordan Alvarez.
Yeah, big guy standing right in front of you. You could tag him.
That was an odd choice by Ernie Clement, who was standing right next to the biggest player on the Astros, and he chose not to tag him.
Yeah, you'll see it right here on the replay. That ball chopped, and Jordan thought he could beat it and then realized he should stop. But Ernie Clement, avoiding contact with the big man, opted for the flip, and that allowed Varsho to end up on first base. But that double play was literally right in front of him.
Hard to miss Jordan. Walker off the end of the bat, but hit pretty well. All the way back is Straw. He's got room on the warning track, and he puts it away. Astros have hit some deep fly balls tonight against Bieber that have gone for outs. Trammell earlier, and now Christian Walker. Houston Astros baseball on SCHN is presented by Michelob Ultra Zero. Make a plan to get home safe. A reminder from your friends at Silver Eagle Distributors Houston. By Standard Insurance, now it's time for you to save. And by Amazon, spend less on your kids for back to school. Sixth inning baseball. Blue Jays 3, Astros nothing as George Springer bats for a third time. He has struck out and singled and scored his last time up. Springer goes after the first one from Javier and fouls one out of play. It's 0-1. Astros have their bullpen going as Javier begins his sixth inning of work, having thrown 70 pitches to this point. And it is Tatsuya Imai who will be looking to make his first major league relief appearance. Next one misses high. It is 1-1. We thought we might see Imai behind Javier today. Kind of flipped from what we saw in Anaheim.
That'll be interesting to see how it unfolds.
This one lofted into right. Easy play for Cam Smith. One away.
Tonight's fan cam is presented by Rally House. The happy folks in the stands watching their first place Houston Astros in the American League West. We cruise the concourse. Good times here at Dyken Park. Astros working their way back to the top. Had a great turnout over the weekend.
36,621 on Friday, 38,461 Saturday. Just 45 people shy of 34,000 yesterday.
Nice.
Really good turnout for that Lone Star Series.
Get some games in before school starts.
We won't see these City Connect uniforms very often the rest of the year. The Astros playing tonight against the Blue Jays, and they have just one more Monday home game the rest of the way, and that's against the White Sox on the final day of this month. In fact, they only play the Giants next Monday and then that game on the 31st. The only 2 Mondays they play the rest of the year.
How about that? Boys, you got Mondays off the rest of the year. It's outstanding.
At least in September, we got some Monday Night Football.
I like the way you think.
Joe Espada had to duck on that last foul ball as he and Omar were almost in a line of fire. And not many games on Mondays the rest of the way.
I'll make my wife so happy that we play Sunday day games. Ooh, so we watch some Sunday night football and then go into Monday Night Football. Not to mention Saturdays. Woo. September's a great month.
Got the pennant chases.
Yeah.
We got football starting. 1-2 to Kirk. Missing down is 2-2. All in all, if Javier can get through this sixth inning, only allowing 3 runs, that qualifies as a quality start. Gave up 2 in the fourth after the home run by Kirk in the second. Didn't miss by much, and Kirk is showing good discipline here. It's 3-2.
Yeah, the only thing I'm curious about with Imai is how long is it going to take him to get loose. Usually starters have a set rhythm and routine that's a little more extended than guys in the bullpen.
On the ground, good backhand play by Paredes. His throw always right there. Christian Walker can kind of sit in a rocking chair for Isaac Paredes the way he throws the ball in the money all the time.
Yeah, he looked bored.
He actually did. That's 2 outs. Now Jesus Sanchez. Sanchez hit an 0-2 pitch the other way for an RBI hit. That's part of that 2-run fourth inning. Javier looking for his first clean inning of the night. One thing about Javi with his 80 pitches tonight is he has been firing strikes. His first 2 starts of the year, he walked 4 and 5 in back-to-back outings over 8 1/3 innings. But tonight, 81 pitches in and 57 strikes.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing. I know he's behind in this game, but at the same time, the fact that he is filling up the strike zone and competing is a good sign.
He didn't walk anybody in that outing against the Angels in 5 innings of work. Gave up 3 hits. So he's sitting on 10 2/3 consecutive innings without allowing a walk.
Yeah, that was one of the best outings we've ever seen from Christian Javier. The only one's better with those no-hitters.
You're right. At Yankee Stadium at Citizens Bank Park. Actually, his previous relief outing to the 5-inning outing in Anaheim, he also didn't walk anybody, so that's at least 11 2/3 without a walk. He's now 2-2 on Sanchez. Jesus has only drawn 10 walks all year, but he is taking this count to full as he watches a pitch over the plate. Now it's 3-2. Highest pitch count of any start for Christian Javier on the season. Josh Miller checking on the availability of Tatsuya Imai as Sanchez puts it in play, and this will be the first clean inning of the night. Christian Javier, 6 innings of 3-run baseball tonight. He'll trail 3-0 as he walks to the dugout in what might be his final inning. Three 0 Blue Jays lead as we head to the bottom half of the 6th inning. Trade deadline day. The Astros acquiring Dalton Varsho, who is so far 1 for 3 against his former team, as he traded clubhouses along with Spencer Arrighetti before the game. Jose Altuve reaches out and hooks one foul down the left field side. Altuve with a hit and 2 at bats so far. It's a career .317 hitter coming in against the Blue Jays. It'll be Jose, Taylor Trammell, and Yainer Diaz as Two takes one off the plate for a ball, 1-1. Base runner in every inning for the Astros, and at least 2 in each of the first 3 innings, but they have stranded 8 runners so far through 5. Shane Bieber, before that outing where he did not have any command at all in D.C., walking 6 2/3 of an inning and not getting through the first inning. Pitched very well in those 2 previous starts against the White Sox and the Rays, combining for 13 innings, 6 hits, and 1 run against those 2 teams that are in first place in their respective divisions. That's why some people thought Bieber might be a trade piece from Toronto at the deadline. That's how Altuve hooks the slider foul, played by Tony Perez-Chica, stays 2-2.
Altuve putting up a pretty good fight right here. End up seeing 7 pitches in this at bat.
On the ground to short, waiting back on it, Andres Jimenez, and he'll make the play for the first out.
Here's a look at some of Papa John's key ingredients. How about the hitters 6 through 9? We talk a lot about that top half of the order. The bottom half has been getting it done during the 6-game winning streak. You need to have a little bit of help at the bottom part of that lineup. They've done a very good job. Their combined OPS at 886 is very nice. A couple of bombs mixed in there and driven in 15. Again, I think that nice number at the bottom there with the small print was the 20 runs scored. That means they're getting on base at a good clip for the top of the lineup, who's been red hot. So they've been creating runs for them.
Taylor Trammell bats for a third time. He is flied out to right and then hit one 419 feet to center. That Miles Straw caught about 3/4 of the way up the wall. That would have been a home run in
25 ballparks. An expected batting average of 960.
960?
960. Ended up being a flyout. Granted, it took a good play. And it's crazy to me to even think that Miles didn't even have to go up over the yellow line to get it. It would have stayed in the ballpark.
I'm not sure what exactly Taylor saw as he was rounding the bases, but he thought he had hit a home run.
I'll tell you what, if we gave you a bat and you hit one at 110 plus on that kind of launch angle, I'd expect it to go out too. He found one of the 5 ballparks it doesn't go out of.
Man, and it's his home stadium.
Yeah.
Taylor now with a 2-2 count, and the Blue Jays get their bullpen moving for the first time. Bieber was acquired last year at the trade deadline by the Blue Jays. Just missed the bottom of the zone, or did he? Alejandro Kirk wants to challenge.
Man, that's a close one.
Emil Jimenez called it a ball, and Kirk is going to win this. It's going to be a strikeout.
One more remaining.
ABS powered by T-Mobile shows a strikeout for Trammell.
Enjoy all-you-can-eat seats during select Friday and Saturday Astros games. Food options include nachos, hot dogs, pretzels, and more. Get tickets now at astros.com/AYCE.
This ball hit sharply through the hole on the left side. Yainer Diaz 2 for 3 tonight, and 5 make it 6 for 11 in his career against Bieber. He's a 2-out base runner. Still no clean innings for the Toronto right-hander this night.
I think we saw Yainer hit a home run on a changeup earlier in this homestand. Here he gets one off a little bit towards the end of the barrel and is able to pull that into left field. Did a good job staying on that one.
Now Cam Smith is 1 for 2, and he sends one up the middle. Back-to-back pitches, back-to-back singles. Stopping at second is Yainer Diaz. There'll be 2 on for Jeremy Pena here in the 6th inning. A little 2-out rally.
That is what we are talking about. These are my guys down at the bottom of the order. Not trying to do too much. Stay inside that sinker up and in, and hit a nice firm ground ball up the middle. And played a wait-and-see game with Jeremy Pena and Yordan Alvarez following you.
We mentioned this while Dana Brown was in the booth in the 2nd inning. Cam Smith really showing some signs lately.
He was on a tear. He needs the confidence. I know that he's not lacking because the ability is so good, but at the same time, at this level, you like to see those hits find their way through and find some empty space. That'll only reinforce the positive of the hard work he's been putting in.
Now the guy who has the longest active hitting streak in the major leagues, Jeremy Pena, 0 for 3 tonight. As he bats with 2 on and 2 outs and pops a foul out of play. Thought Tatsuya Imai was going to come in next inning as he was the only one warming up for the whole full 6th inning, but now Enyel De Los Santos also has a baseball and is warming up. A little looper into center, coming on Miles Straw. He'll play it on a hop. In to score, Yainer Diaz to third, Cam Smith. He is safe. Into second, Pena. He is safe. It's a 3-1 game, 2 more in scoring position.
Jeez, these guys are fast. There's all kinds of action out there with 2 outs. Everybody off on the swing. Watch the base runners. They are immediately putting their head down and going. Yainer Diaz runs pretty good for a catcher. He put his head down and said, I'm taking home plate. Cam Smith doing the same, running right in front of Miles Straw. And as he is sliding into third base, you've got Jeremy Pena obviously gaining an extra 90 feet. But that was all kinds of action on the base pass.
Manager John Schneider out to the mound. He's got Yordan Alvarez due up. He's got a lefty, Brendan Little, warming up. We'll see who he brings in. If he brings in the righty, you know for sure Yordan will be walked. We'll have a pitching change when we come back.
The Astros are on the board with that RBI base hit with 2 outs from Jeremy Pena. You're hearing boos because the new pitcher coming in, Braden Fisher, obviously will not face Yordan Alvarez. He's being intentionally walked. They're bringing Fisher in with his 4.08 ERA and 53 strikeouts to face Isaac Paredes with the bases loaded.
Paredes takes the first pitch down for a ball, 1-0. Yordan with his 23rd intentional walk. John Schneider has intentionally walked Yordan 4 times in the 4 times the Astros have played the Blue Jays this year. Only the Angels and the Rangers have intentionally walked him more. Angels 5, Rangers 6. Paredes misses the breaking ball. It's 1-1. Isaac faced Braden Fisher up in Toronto and saw only sliders and curveballs, and that is bad. As he sees a 3rd straight wrinkle, slider, curveball, slider combo so far against Isaac. Jeremy Pena is setting his career high with a 15-game hitting streak, driving in the first run for the Astros, and then Yordan Alvarez extends his lead in that category. That bounces away, but not far enough for Cam to come down the line. That was spiked, and it's 2-2.
That would have been a pretty good pitch in cricket. You see Alejandro Kirk playing the wickets, keeping that ball in front. Fisher's big on the slider and curveball.
That's the first fastball of the 11 pitches Paredes has seen from Fisher this year. And now, full count, bases loaded, everybody will be off. This crowd getting revved up. Will pop up. Okamoto will make the play in foul territory, and Paredes pops up to end the inning. Astros strand 3 more. They have left 11 on base through 6, but they're on the board. It's now a 3-1 game.
Across Texas, people are waking up before the sun, working hard.
Best in Texas power pitcher is driven by Ford. We're going to talk about the bullpen, which is a highlight for the Astros through this really good stretch they've had going back to May 22nd. It's been different guys, not the same personnel through that stretch either. Back in the bullpen has been strong. Josh Hader arriving in early June. Then there's Brian Abreu, who found his way back into leverage spots, finding a more consistent delivery. Steven Okert just holding it all down, wearing shirts that say "Arm feels good," which is the shirt he wears when he should be down. Plummer.
That's very Steven Okert of Steven Okert to do that. But yeah, we've got a different look coming out of the bullpen. This will be the first time we see Tatsuya Imai coming out of the bullpen in his big league career. He's 15 starts. When he's good, he's very good. When he has not been good, it's been rough.
This ball lofted to left, playable for Taylor Trammell. And a couple of strikes out of the bullpen on the first 2 pitches for Imai as Clement flies out to left for the first out. Imai only 9 relief appearances in his years in Japan. And as you can see, his 15 starts as an Astro and now his first relief appearance. The walk total is what he would like to work on, and that's something the Astros will be watching closely in his first relief appearance. First pitch high and away to Andres Jimenez. It's 1-0.
What is it, 50 in the third total innings coming into this outing? 50, was it? 58 2/3 coming in, and 40 walks in that time.
There's a good fastball. It's 1-1. Imai starting that game in Anaheim, where the Astros came from behind with that crazy 9th inning. Scoring 4 runs on 1 hit with 2 walks, 2 errors, and 2 hit by pitches. That was a good running fastball, and now it's 1-2. Jimenez leaving the zone there. Final line on Christian Javier, 6 innings of 7-hit, 3-run baseball. Did not walk anybody, and he struck out 2. And now 12 consecutive innings for Javi without a walk. That almost clipped his foot as Jimenez dances away. It's 3-2. Jimenez with a fly out to left and a fly out to right. And sends this one to right. Cam Smith coming in for it. Second out of the inning. Now a word from Standard Insurance.
I like to save money, and I know you do too. You deserve to pay less. In just a few minutes, see how much you can save. Make that call today.
Don't delay, call Standard today.
He might facing the Blue Jays for the first time, getting 2 outs here to start the inning. Now facing Miles Straw. He's now 8 in a row sent down by the combination of Javier and Imai, with Straw being the last one to reach on a single into right. That one into center. Backing up is Varsho. Got plenty of room out there. And Tatsuya Imai in his first inning of relief for the Astros, a 1-2-3-7 with 3 flyouts. 7th inning stretch. Astros down 3-1. 7th inning stretch presented by Texas Mattress Makers.
Unofficially, it's America's.
Join the official kids club of the Houston Astros and sign up for the Astros Buddies Club presented by HEB today. Buddies Club members receive a drawstring bag, widget hat, widget charm, socks, lanyard, and 4 tickets to an Astros game. Visit astros.com/buddies to sign up today. TK.
All right, Julia, Dalton Varsho will lead things off, batting for the 4th time in his Astros debut. He's 1 for 3 with an infield hit so far, as he faces the right-hander Braden Fisher, who came on and issued an intentional walk to Yordan Alvarez, and then got Isaac Paredes to pop up with the bases loaded on a full count pitch. Varsho, Christian Walker, and Jose Altuve here in the 7th. The other time in Varsho's career that he was traded, mentioned earlier, was in the offseason. He was moved from Arizona to Toronto, and the Diamondbacks got Lourdes Gurriel Jr. and Gabriel Moreno back, and those 2 guys still playing for the D-backs. Moreno having a great year. Lourdes has been hurt a little bit this season.
Still has great hair, though.
Still has the great purple hair. And now Varsho traded tonight, moving from the visiting clubhouse to the home clubhouse, and Spencer Arrighetti doing the reverse. That's way up. It's 3-1. Pop foul, and that'll be out of play. Fisher relieving Shane Bieber, who went 5 2/3 innings tonight and worked through a lot of runners on base. Bieber gave up 9 hits and 2 walks in his 5 2/3, but only 1 run scored. Astros have left 11 on. The Blue Jays have left 3 on. That is high ball 4. Varsho on for the second time tonight. Will be a leadoff base runner for the Astros in the 7th.
It's time to play Astros trivia powered by Reliant. What do we got tonight? Who is the only pitcher with 35+ wins with both the Astros and Blue Jays? Good question. The Astro with 35+ wins with the Astros and Blue Jays. Astros trivia powered by Reliant.
Well, Varsho's former Diamondback teammate Christian Walker bats. He's 1 for 3. Hit the ball at a deep center his last time up and flying out. Walker hitting exactly .333 during a 7-game hitting streak, 9 for 27. On the ground on broken bat, Jimenez will flip it to second, and Clement turns the double play. Blue Jays erase the walk on the double play, and there's 2 outs in the inning. Jose Altuve. Altuve 1 for 3 tonight. It's on the corner for a strike. It's 1-1. Astros have had 11 at bats against Braden Fisher this season without a hit. Has Altuve down in the count now, 1-2. On the ground, and that is through for a base hit. Altuve ties Bobby Abreu on the all-time hit list. Jose Altuve joining a list of Venezuela-born players now in the top 4 as he's tied for 4th with Abreu.
That is a pretty incredible list. And Bobby Abreu is doing something. There's a lot of people who might think that Bobby Abreu might sneak into that Hall of Fame with the Veterans Committee with the numbers he put up.
Pitching change after the hit by Altuve after the historic hit for Jose. 1 on, 2 outs. Our next telecast is presented by Kaplan Sinus Relief. Hayden Wisniewski gets another start, his first start of the year in LA. Anaheim to be exact. Went well, 5 2/3 innings of 3 earned run baseball. Trey Savage, a couple of 39s go head to head tomorrow. We're on the air at 6:30.
It's another young arm in that rotation they're counting on in the future, but right now it's going to be Brendan Little coming into this game. 10 2/3 innings. He's given up 4 home runs. So a chance for the Astros to try and make a late run here with Little coming into this game.
Pinch hitter for Taylor Trammell is going to be Zach DeZenzo. DeZenzo 3 for 12 as a pinch hitter this season. And as you can see in his career, 3 for 16 overall. Astros have a runner on first base, Jose Altuve, back-to-back multi-hit games for Tuve. And DeZenzo misses the slider. It's 0-2. Astros, with that addition of Dalton Varsho, sent Lucas Spence out today. Optioned him back to AAA Sugarland. So the Astros bench is DeZenzo, Vasquez, Allen, and Wade. This is going to be a strikeout. And the throw down to first in time to complete the strikeout for Little. We head to the 8th. Astros down 3-1. Enjoy Astros Light Up the Park, presented by Houston Methodist at Dyken Park, December 4th through January the 3rd. Perfect for all ages. Take advantage of BOGO tickets through August the 2nd by visiting astros.com/lightupthepark. Now Nathan Lucas will lead things off and hits one off the end of the bat. Christian Walker will use Tatsuya Imai to cover, and Tatsuya Imai has retired all 4 batters here in his first major league relief outing.
Feels like these Blue Jay at-bats have been aggressive against Imai.
3 flyouts and now a ground out as Imai faces Vlad Guerrero Jr. First pitch a strike, 0-1. Imai would love to be at some point back in the rotation, and his way to get back in the rotation is to show effectiveness and throw strikes out of the bullpen. So far so good as he gets ahead of Vlad Guerrero Jr. 1-2.
There's part of me that just feels like Imai has to believe in his stuff. Yes, these are very good hitters, but he's faced good competition his entire career. Coming over here shouldn't change his approach or his sequencing on how he attacks these hitters. Just seems like sometimes he gets a little tentative in the zone, around the zone. Just trust that stuff, compete on the edges, and maybe the defense will pick you up, or maybe you'll get some swing and miss.
There you go.
Take it.
Swing and miss. First strikeout as a reliever in Tatsuya Imai's big league career. And there's 2 away in the inning. Now a message from Buick GMC. Handle of guys who came over from Japan. Kazuma Okamoto takes a pitch on the inside corner for a ball. That's going to be a challenge from Yainer Diaz.
Catcher challenge the call ball.
Neil Jimenez called it a ball. ABS powered by T-Mobile shows us it is going to be overturned.
Pitch is right. Two more remaining.
Both teams have been successful tonight on their challenges. The Astros still have 2 remaining. The Blue Jays have 1. And to your point about trusting your stuff, last 4 starts combined 11 2/3 innings and 15 walks.
Whoa.
And yet righties on the season are being held to a 179 average against him before tonight. And he has so far held righties to an 0 for 3 tonight.
Find a way to get your stuff to play. Yeah.
Got him.
Beautiful.
Imai looking strong out of the pen. An extra glare from Kazuma Okamoto. And the Astros will have Yainer Diaz and then Cam Smith due up before they go to the top of the order in the red-hot Jeremy Pena. Tonight's Chevy Stropole, over 1,000 votes tonight, and Yordan Alvarez wins another Stropole. We asked you, what are your expectations for the rest of 2026? And almost 40% of you are going to enjoy Yordan's Triple Crown chase.
You can enjoy that with some of those other things,
That's
hopefully.
True. That is true.
Just go ahead and pile on.
Yordan having a season for the ages as Yainer Diaz leads off. If Yordan bats in this inning, he would bat 4th. The Blue Jays have kept their lefty Brendan Little in the game for now. They do have a right-hander warming up, as it'll be 3 righties to start the inning. Yainer Diaz, Cam Smith, and Jeremy Pena. Little will have to face at least 2 of them as he faced 1 batter in the 7th. As he gets a strike on Yainer Diaz, it's 1-1. Chad Dallas, a righty, is warming up in the Jays pen. Yiner 2 for 3 tonight. Had a couple of singles his last 2 at bats against Shane Bieber, but he's down on the count here 1-2. You see the righty for the Jays. Astros don't have anybody warming up. They'll let Imai throw a 3rd inning unless they take the lead here in the bottom of the 8th, and then you might see things shuffle. Swing and a miss. Yiner down on strikes. 2 strikeouts of the 2 batters that Little has faced, and 1 away in the 8th.
Curveball down. A lot of spin from Braden Little. Sliders and curveballs aplenty.
Here's Cam Smith, who has faced Brendan Little 3 times, and he has walked all 3 times. A lot of curveballs. Starts him off with a slider down and in, 1-0. Cam 2 for 3 tonight. He and Yiner Diaz combining for 4 hits at the bottom of the lineup. Fastball down, 2-0. Something about Cam Smith that does not allow Brendan Little to throw strikes.
It's like a force field around the strike zone when he's up there.
He has not walked any other Astros hitters he has faced in his career. But he has walked Cam 3 times. That's going to be a challenge on a 2-0 pitch.
Wow, and a chuck to center field.
Alejandro Kirk felt like this clipped the outside edge. ABS powered by T-Mobile. It's going to be close either way, and he's going to get it right.
Man, borderline, yeah.
Pitch is strike. Toronto has 1 more remaining.
Pretty certain call on a very close pitch. But he gets it right, and the Blue Jays maintain their 1 challenge. It's now 2-1 on Cam. That one's a strike. Now the count evens up. Swing and a miss at that curveball. Cam down on strikes. 3 consecutive strikeouts for Little, and there's 2 away in the inning.
Stream Space City Home Network all summer long directly with SCHN Plus. No cable or satellite needed. Start streaming today by purchasing the app at SCHNplus.com. Already have Space City Home Network. Download the SCHN Plus app, log in, and enjoy the Astros.
Jeremy Pena, who extended his career-high hitting streak to 15 games his last time up, driving in the only run of the game for the Astros. It's the longest active hitting streak in the major leagues, and it also broke a tie with his 14-game hitting streak back in April of last year for the longest of his career. Pitch down and in, 2-0. Astros with 12 runners left on through 7 innings. Compared to 3 runners left on by the Blue Jays through 8.
That's a bold strategy.
Now it's 3-0 with the big man looming as the tying run on deck if Pena reaches.
Only 2 fastballs he's thrown this inning have been to Jeremy Pena, and they've both been out of the zone.
That's going to be ball 4. A 4-pitch walk in front of Yordan Alvarez, never a good idea. That'll draw a visit at the mound.
One thing Fisher's done is he's thrown a lot of spin, but a lot of spin has been down in the zone. He hasn't really made any mistakes up, out over the plate that the Astros could get to. A lot of swing and miss.
Now a word from Christian Brothers Automotive.
From complex repairs to oil changes, we've got you covered. At Christian Brothers Automotive, great service, great offers, great warranty.
RE24 is a stat developed by Fangraphs that basically takes every at-bat a player has during the course of the season, and each at-bat you either add to your team's chances to win or you subtract from your team's chances to win, and then it's a cumulative number. Jordan is lapping the field in that category as well, and he's 14.88 points above an excellent mark on the season.
I mean, we're inventing ways to say how great this guy is. He's unbelievable.
He has created so many positive outcomes with every time he's at the plate, and no one's even close in the major leagues. He does take a first pitch strike from Little here. Pete Walker with a meeting at the mound prior to this at bat, and Jordan misses the curveball 0-2.
He wanted a piece of that. The curve stayed up, but it stayed in just enough to not allow Jordan to really get those arms extended, swinging over the top of that breaking ball.
Only other time Jordan faced Little, he saw nothing but curveballs in his at bat and flied out on an 0-2 pitch. Now he sees another curveball that he stays alive with. That's another one. Leading by almost 100 points with 2 strikes.
Okay, I get it. He's good.
Liam Hicks part of the trade deadline moves today as he goes from one Florida team to the other.
Coast to coast.
Another 0-2 pitch coming. And another curveball, and this one bouncing. Big man with 35 home runs, 84 runs batted in, hitting .331 on the year. And a foul tip caught by Kirk to end the inning. Got him with another curveball, and the Astros down here in the 8th. It's still a 3-1 game.
Back here with baseball superstar Carlos Correa. Carlos, after your injury.
Score big on authentic gear at MLBshop.com. From official jerseys and memorabilia to hats and hoodies, we've got the season covered. Visit MLBshop.com/Astros, the official source for your Houston Astros gear.
Back here at Daikin Park, where the Astros trail 3-1. Tatsuya Imai, in his 3rd inning of work, has been excellent in his first relief outing. He has retired all 6 batters he has faced, now going after George Springer here. First time pitching against the Blue Jays. He's got 3 flyouts, a ground out, and a couple of strikeouts to end the last inning, and he's 0-2 on George. 16 of 22 strikes for Tatsuya. Christian Javier retired the last 6 batters he faced, and now Imai has retired the first 6 batters out of the pen. Last to reach for the Blue Jays was a Miles Straw single to lead off the 5th. Springer down, 3 strikeouts in a row for Imai. George is frustrated as he has never seen sliders go 2 different directions. There's one away in the 9th.
Now the UFO is floating through the zone. A couple of different breaks on it, different depths. Hard to anticipate what that ball is going to do. And in a limited exposure coming out of the bullpen, maybe facing the lineup 1 time through the order, maybe a 2nd time. But if you're going to go 1 time through like Imai's attempting to do, the 2 pitches work. The fastball slider will work. It's when you're in a start where you get that 2nd, 3rd time through the order where I can sit fastball slider, and I've seen those pitches, then I can make the adjustment. But he's got plenty of other splits and changes waiting in the tank. Just a matter of getting the confidence to be able to use them. But in this relief appearance, doesn't need them.
He has looked as good as we have seen him all year as a starter, and that includes his no-hitter game where he walked a few in Arlington. Strike throwing percentage, the best we have seen all season as he gets ahead of Kirk 1 and 2. George is so expressive. You could see him walking back to the dugout, basically talking to one of his teammates saying, I know the pitch is going in different directions.
Yes. And if you haven't faced Imai and you're hearing those conversations that those guys are having, you're going, oh boy, this will be exciting. I can't wait to see the slider that breaks on both sides of the plate. So as a hitter, you kind of want to see it, test it out, see it. But by the time you do that in a game like this where he's throwing so many strikes, you're down 0-1, 0-2 quick. Yeah, he calls it the UFO.
George is the best. You always are going to get a quality shot when you take a shot at George Springer during the game, because he's going to be talking to somebody, and he's going to be very expressive about it.
Yeah. He's like, I don't even believe in aliens.
1-2 for Imai, and that's down. It's 2-2.
He's been in the game for 20 years now, it feels like, and he hasn't changed a bit.
No.
That's kind of the beauty of George Springer.
He's got his former Astros buddy Miles Straw with him there to his right. So the count's 2-2 on Alejandro Kirk, who is 1 for 3. Hit a home run in the second inning and goes down on strikes here. That is 4 in a row on strikeouts for Imai, and all 8 that he has faced in this outing.
Let's answer our trivia question powered by Reliant. A lot of people getting this answer right. Who is the only pitcher with 35+ wins with both the Astros and Blue Jays? The Rocket. Had 38 with Houston, 41 with Toronto. I believe he picked up a Cy Young in both places too. And we talked about this offense just to kind of reinforce what Imai's doing right here by getting the strikeouts. This is not a team that strikes out a lot. They are a high contact team, and he is going out there and picking up some strikeouts.
Christian Javier threw 85 pitches over 6 innings and could only strike out 2 Blue Jays, and those were back in the first inning. Now Imai has struck out 4 in a row, and it's the 2, 3, 4, 5 hitters. Now he's got Sanchez down 0-1. 75% strikes, and now a higher percentage than that, 25 out of 33. By far his best strike percentage of the year.
Remember, he had a couple of starts where he had 10 strikeouts, 11 strikeouts. But this is by far the most efficient he's been as far as throwing strikes, and he's aggressive.
3-pitch strikeout. Tatsuya Imai in his first major league relief outing. Retires all 9 and strikes out 5 in a row to end his appearance.
I'm Saquon Barkley.
Game-day cravings? Order Wing Bay on Uber Eats now.
Bottom of the 9th, the Astros need to break out. They're down 2, need 2 to tie, 3 to win. They're leading in the hit category. 10 hits for the Astros in tonight's game. They're going to have to do it against Tyler Rogers, tough right-hander. Submariner has the lowest arm angle of anybody. Gets a lot of ground balls, so it's going to be a tough at bat for some of these hitters for the Astros.
Astros have Isaac Paredes, Dalton Varsho, and Christian Walker due up. Beyond that, Jose Altuve and Zach DeZenzo in the lineup. Astros need 2 to tie and 3 to walk it off. Paredes down in the count 0-2. Jesus Sanchez has been taken out of the game here in the bottom half of the 9th inning, and Davis Schneider now playing left field. That one wide. It's 1-2. Fourth pitcher of the game for the Blue Jays. Astros out hitting Toronto 10-7, but trailing 3-1. That one's low, 2-2. On the ground, off the glove of Rogers, but right at the shortstop, Andres Jimenez, who makes the play. And Paredes retired for the first out of the ninth. Now Dalton Varsho has been on base twice against his former team. A whirlwind day starting with Varsho in the visiting clubhouse, taking swings in the batting cage for the Blue Jays when he learned of the trade to the Astros. Finished his work pregame in the Astros clubhouse and hitting in batting cage. Now batting for a 5th time tonight against the team that he rode the bus in with. Varsho a single in the 1st, a walk in the 7th, also a strikeout and a ground out tonight. That went a little bit above the zone, and it's 2-0. Just foul.
Take a peek at this delivery from Tyler Rogers. From way down under, and then just a flick of the wrist. But you can see he's throwing uphill, so it's awkward as a hitter to try and adjust to that.
Got in on Varsho, and he fouls it behind the Blue Jays dugout. 2-2.
It's kind of a lost art to be able to throw. There was a lot of submariners back in the 80s and 90s, but kind of a lost art because velocity is king. Guys that throw from underneath there don't usually have high octane. Varsho battling at the plate.
Varsho in his career with his 2nd most plate appearances of any Astro against Tyler Rogers. He's 2 for 9 with a double. Christian Walker has the most. He's on deck. Little tapper towards short. Jimenez charges. His throw is low, and a close play just out at first base as Guerrero Jr. made a nice pick on that short throw by Andres Jimenez for the 2nd out.
Kind of Ichiro'd that one, and he was hustling down the line, forced Jimenez to speed things up. Had to come in quick, spiked that throw, long hopped it, but fortunately Vlad Guerrero able to pick that thing up just before that foot gets down.
Now Walker 5 for 16 in his career against Rogers. Astros have not had any innings where the Blue Jays ever tired them 1-2-3 until this inning here. In the 9th inning, Tyler Rogers gets the Astros in order as Walker flies out to right, and the Blue Jays have won the first 2 games of this series, or first game of the series, and snapped a 6-game winning streak for the Astros, who have still won 11 of their last 13 games. Blue Jays win it 3-1. Good pitching tonight and a lot of stranded base runners for the Astros. Back with a post-game show presented by Whataburger, a feature. Kevin Eschenfelder and also Brian Bogusevic, Julie Morales helping out with interviews after the game. Post-game show next.